So now let's start with the questions. The first one is tips on CV. Loy, could you give me 5 tips on a CV? Okay, 5 tips on the CV. The first tip would be get yourself a professional mentor who can look at your CV, who can help you edit your CV and present it in a manner that is required. Don't try to do it by yourself. It is like taking a steering wheel and saying, I'll learn to drive a car by myself does not work. Get professional help. Second tip, which I'll tell you, is don't just focus on the visual. Most of the people focus on making it really visual and dandy. I think you need to focus on content. The third point is keep it simple. Don't try to give great, impressive jargon like strategy, like spearheading, focused goals, corporate nonsense. Try to give it pretty simple. Use industry jargon, but use it very less, and keep it personal. The third one is, if everyone bullshits on their CV, everyone does, they'd like to tell you that, no, we don't bullshit on a CV, you need to be honest. Listen, if you're going to be honest on your CV and tell them, I like to waste time, I like to check Facebook, I like to tell my boss lies that I skip work to meet my boyfriend, I don't think you're going to get a job. So you need to be smart, you need to know where to bullshit and how much to bullshit, and if you can carry that bullshit. For example, if I could give you an example, instead of saying that you like to go to parties and you like to get drunk and you make a fool out of yourself because you're an extrovert and you suffer from ADD, that is attention deficit disorder, all you can mention there is you are a social person, you like engaging, and you like to be the life of the party. I wouldn't say life of the party, you like to be an energetic soul. Or another one could be, like, for example, in my case, when I started my career as a shopkeeper, I don't think putting a shopkeeper on my CV would help. So I rephrased it into customer service representative. So these are some of the places you can bullshit, but don't lie on your CV, because if you lie and you're found out, I think that amounts to being a fraud. And the last, if not the least, I would say that take ask opinions, but not from your relatives, not from friends, from decision makers, because they will give you the best advice. So these are my 5 tips that I can give you on CVs. The next question, Loy, could you help me get a job? I'm sorry, I can't help you get a job, even if I have contacts. And don't send me stupid emails and, Loy, you have more than 48,000 people on your social media network. Just help me get a job. I'm not sitting here to help people get jobs. I'm sitting here as a professional. So if you want to get a job, first thing, you need to employ my services as a professional. If you can't afford it, come and tell me that you can't afford it. And that doesn't mean I'm going to help you. Depends if I like you. So most important thing is, if you want to get a job, don't send me a standard copy paste. Sir, these are my credentials for your perusal. I'm looking for something, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's interested in that. You need to approach someone through humility and through a form of a request. You need to make it very personal. You've got to come to me face to face, say you need my help. Then based on that, we will sit down and draw up a plan of action, how we can do it. Sending me a stupid email saying, I'm looking out for a job, help me, I'm from Pakistan, I'm from India, I'm from London. Listen, I get more than 200 emails every day. I'm not sitting here, just helping people with the charity setup. I need to take care of my own expenses. So if you're looking at a professional, well, I'm here. That doesn't mean just because you have the money, I'm going to be your mentor or your coach. I need to like you. You need to like me. And the most important is, like I told you, if you can't afford it, that doesn't mean you don't approach me. Please approach me. If I like you and if I feel you're sincere and I feel I can help you, I will help you. About sending people jobs, add me on Facebook, add me on LinkedIn, be on my circle, because I keep sending CVs. I keep sending vacancies. So if you're looking for a job, yes, I would help you get a job. But there's no promises there. If you're lucky, you're the guy for the job or the girl for the job, you'll get it. Now, next one is, Loy, could you give me some tips on sending a CV? Never send an unsolicited email. Find out who's the right person in the company. Make sure that you get the right name and designation. If you believe you're absolutely qualified for the job, send a courier, because that would impress the person. If you feel 50-50, then send a postal, a postcard, I don't know, what do you call it, a letter? Yeah, send a letter. We don't send that anymore. Email, if you're sending, make sure it's addressed to the person and make sure you had a conversation with the person, then send it. Because if you send an unsolicited email, it's going to get rejected. And please, for the love of whichever God that you do believe, do not send with 110 people's email address on the two or on the CC, and everyone knows that you have sent your CV to everyone, that definitely gets deleted. And do not have the standard dear sir, dear madam, and blah blah blah. Send with the name, all right? And customize it. Don't just send dear Loy and then you have this really corny, cheesy introduction that you have sent to 100 people that does not sell. You need to make a covering letter that sells. Need more tips? Check online. If you need really good tips, get in touch with me. All right. Now, Loy, how many pages should I make my CV? Listen, my dear, there's no 1 page, 2 page, or 3 page standard. There are some countries that do follow a standard norm. Let's say, for example, let me drink a cup of tea. Wait. And what is this? This is ginger and green tea. A little bit of honey that I'm going to pour because I need to take care of my voice. Okay, so I was telling how many pages CV. See, here in Dubai, people have this theory that your CV should be 2 pages. 1 page is too short, 3 pages is a bit too much. So they say 2 pages or 3 pages. I'm of the opinion that if, for example, you put on a CV that you have graduated from Harvard's business school, I think even one line is enough, because that would impress the socks out of anyone. If you're a guy who can put on your CV and say that I can guarantee you that I will increase your sale by at least 20%, and if I don't, you don't need to pay me anything, I think the guy is going to call you. In fact, when I take interviews, I don't even check the CVs because I know everything on the CV is crap. You just try to sell yourself. So obviously you're going to put good stuff. So how many pages should a CV be? It depends. In Dubai, 2 or 3 pages. If you have content, don't just drag it on. 2 pages is okay. If you feel you have a power CV, 1 page is enough. So it all depends. It all depends on the profile. Now, if you're a college student, don't drag it on for 3 pages. You have nothing to share, nothing worthwhile to tell an employer. And yeah, so just try to use your common sense there. As a bonus, some do's and don'ts on CVs. Just off my head, whatever I can think. Number one is stop bullshitting because it shows. Number two is stop putting objectives. Nobody cares about your objectives. Nobody cares about your goal, your vision, your whatever that you have. My goal, because the company cares about theirs. And don't put personal details like I'm married with 1 wife and 2 children. Oh, really? Yes. How is it going to benefit my company? Another thing which you need to think on CVs is what information that you're putting there, how is it of benefit to that person who's reading it? How does it benefit his company? And most important of all is whatever you put on your CV, make sure it matches your brand, it matches your profile, it matches who you are and what you're trying to be. Don't try to be something you're not. These are some of the tips that I can think of. And yes, when you're putting references, one common thing is, why should I contact the references you have put? Because obviously your references are going to talk good about you. So make sure you have references given, which either should be like, if you check my CV on LinkedIn, download it on LinkedIn, you'd get around over 103 references. So obviously I've not bribed 103 references. That shows I have credibility. It is almost 18 pages of references. So if you're looking at a reference, if you put someone, they most probably would not check that. Just make sure that your colleagues in your office like you, because that's where I would check if I wanted to get in touch with you or I wanted to employ you.